Welcome to tonight's session of
Mythic Wyrd.
Who's recapping? The party I want to recap as a group. I want to hear you guys tell the story.
Necromancer's a wanker.
She's a very nice man.
We were being chased, hunted by drowners, and to escape, Harakai activated his pocket dimension on the end of the rope, and we got our new best bud, Jack, who's an undead skeleton, to lead us into where Captain Barbosa was. He then dropped us off with the Dark Elf. We tied the Dark Elf to a tree with a knife just out of her reach, and then walked in, and we pretended to be prisoners while Thalian was disguised as a skeleton. We then made our way up to a monkey with a chunk of warpstone in his chest, and Thalian figured out that that wasn't the real Barbosa. We asked for the real Barbosa. He came out, and then in pretty much a quick series of events, we got messed up. And we're surrounded, and Thalian and Kyla.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, Thalian and Kyla were.
I practically did, and then Harakai saved me.
Thalian and Kyla got strapped to the ship, which came alive by Captain Barbosa. And then pretty much after that, we were all taken into captivity, and eventually we were brought up, and me and Bjorn made the deal that we'd go retrieve the key, bring it back by dawn, if he let us journey with him on the airship up to the Skyport, where Harakai also promised him to get him a bigger airship. And after that, we set out to retrieve the key. Found that the drowners were attacking the Dark Elf, who had managed to escape. She died. We almost all died, but managed to escape. And then that's where we left it.
And Squid is still alive.
Yes, it was.
The gash next to us, and they keep bubbling.
Yeah.
Correct. Kyla's in the jail cell and Thalian's hanged up in a cage.
Correct. Good. Yeah, I had my notes as well. Good. Alright. So, session 51.
51.
Will we make it to 52?
Yeah.
What episode is this? What episode would it be?
20.
Session 51.
I don't remember what episode it would be.
I think 24 just.
That's more like 27 or something. 28.
Alright. So how'd you guys escape? It was on the back of Drea, who turned into a giant eagle.
And
Is that right?
And now
pulled the rope.
Yeah, and now we're on a crow's nest on another ship.
That's right, with the drowners in the water coming towards you guys. And then you guys looked up. Yeah. Alright. Thalian,
Yes.
as you sit cramped and squished in the tiny stockade suspended above the dark ship, you can barely see as you can barely turn your head, but the light of the campfire and the singing, laughing, and yelling of the skeletons below keeps you from getting any rest through the night. Your head's still sore, but not bleeding. You sit there trying to ignore the cramping aches in your body, the throbbing of your head, and the cold chill that slowly swings the cage back and forth. The cold, rusty bars are pressed all over your body, and there's a light rain starting to touch down. you can hear the crashing of the waves all around the island as the tide comes in and the weather becomes fiercer and fiercer. What do you do? Or how's Thalian feeling right now?
He's feeling pretty miserable. He's worried about party and also. Can I see out? Like, how far out can I see?
You can see pretty far out, like the cage. Like
Well, I'm pretty far out.
yeah. So you can see past the camp, but past the camp you can't see too much because there's the big mountains and the big rocky landscape that block the view. But as the cage swings and kind of slowly turns, you can see on the other side, probably just over a kilometre, the edge of the island, where in the darkness you can hear the waves crashing.
Pretty cool.
What's that, sorry?
Sounds like a pretty good view.
Alright, starting looking out towards the water. Thoughts on Aurora. He just starts to hum her song to himself. Sort of comfort himself. And tries to block out the cold and the pain and the rain and the tightness. He hates tight spaces, so just trying to stay calm for Harakai's sake.
Oh.
Kyla, you're in pitch black darkness on the 3rd level of this Man of War. In a crammed cage, not as crammed as Thalian's, but still not tall enough for you to stand, and not enough room for you to even sit comfortably. Water slowly drips from the planks overhead, and you can't even escape the slow drip in your cage. The bucket next to you reeks of old urine, and the straw does nothing to comfort you or warm you as you sit alone in this dark space. How are you feeling, or what are you doing?
So Kyla's feeling like he's remembering what's he's feeling pretty despair, and this is a familiar feeling that he had when he was in the Contest of Champions. So he's pretty miserable right now, but he's trying to stay as hopeful as he can at the moment.
Yeah.
But he's pretty concerned about the party and Thalian as well, considering he just got shot.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. So the rest of you guys perched on Drea's back in the pocket dimension. Is there anyone riding Drea? Is Daario riding Drea, or are you guys all in the pocket dimension?
I can't remember.
I think before Harakai was riding it because he
Someone
was.
was holding the rope, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was Drea. Was
I
it?
was holding it my beat, but I lowered it a little bit for you guys.
Yeah, no, I think someone else was holding it.
Yeah, I think it was me because I activated the shadow thing so
Yeah.
that they couldn't sense us, and then I was
That's
holding
right.
That's right.
That's right, yeah. So on top of Drea, covered in misty black shadow, with the shadows screaming at you as they twirl around you, Harakai. You can see below the drowners in the water, looking around, sniffing at the air, choking and making gurgling sounds, before a few of them raise their heads, screeching out into the night, before dissipating, some disappearing underneath the water, others climbing back on the ship and disappearing through the cracks of the ship, and then you see him probably like another 100 meters away, stalking through the hard rocks, every now and then pausing, sniffing at the air, before quickly scurrying away. No longer human, more like some kind of wild dog. They all dissipate into the night. You can see now the tide is getting higher and higher, the water coming in, and the ship that Squid is on is almost, the water is reached halfway through and is almost to the top of the ship as the tide comes in, swallowing the island, making it smaller. What are you guys doing?
Sorry, before we go into that, can I use hit point dice while I'm up here?
I'm gonna say you can't because you're not
Uncomfortable?
rested. Yeah, you're not rested.
Yep.
Harakai's just gonna sit on the top of Drea and in the shadows he's just kind of holding his wounds, like trying to stop the bleeding, and is just muttering to himself.
Drea is gonna fly overhead and she just wants to see Squid and around him, like, is there the key?
Make a perception check.
I roll so bad.
Also, can I just remind you guys that both Bjorn and Harakai are nearly dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Bjorn's on 6 HP, Harakai's on 14.
Oh.
I've got
I'm
this
on 10.
that you gave me. I'm going to use it. Write you something now. Can you heal yourself?
Can, but I'm running out of spell slots.
Did I give you a potion?
Um.
How many spells?
Yeah, healer, guys.
Oh yeah, I do.
You have...
I mean, I've got my
Level
stuff,
one
but I
and
use all the
level
charges, and I don't have the stuff on me.
Yeah.
I think I gave you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
I got 3
I have
spell
advantage
slots.
on wisdom perception. Can I roll again?
Because you're in the eagle?
Yeah.
Three.
Guys.
Oh, that's better. Okay. 17.
That's cool.
Alright. As you
So
cock your
sharp on
head
those doors.
to the side, you want to fly over?
Yeah.
Kind of the area?
That's
Alright.
good,
You
yeah.
take off, Harakai, you're holding on as Drea picks up altitude and then stops and starts circling around the ship where Squid is. And you can see her eyes, her whole head turning to the side as she circles around the ship. Drea, in your eagle form, although you're quite a distance up, your eagle eyes almost magnify everything, zooming everything in. And as you study Squid, he's currently screaming at the skeleton bodies in the stockades above him to shut up and to keep quiet and keep their lives to themselves. As he moves in his bonds on the mast, you see the moonlight catch the faintest bit of some kind of metallic or steel material inside of his chest cavity.
Drea wants to swoop down and she's just gonna try and grab it with
You swoop down, landing on the ship as Davos Squid turns and just screams at you in frustration and fear. You're not too sure, but he just screams at you, eyes wide, as he struggles against his bonds like a madman, trying to get off. And you can see all he wants to do is just get back to his task, as he keeps muttering the same numbers to himself, trying to remind himself what he was up to. You reach out with your claws. He's being gutted, his chest open. The flesh around his body is already rotten and dropping. And you reach out, your talons digging into his chest, ripping out pieces of flesh and his heart.
No!
Comes freely out of his body. The tubes that connect his main arteries just fall away, rotten and dead. They drop to the floor as his heart is held fragilely in your hand, in your claws. The silver metallic items inside his heart.
Does Harakai see this while he's in the shroud?
Yes.
Pukes.
Out of the opening, you just see puke coming.
He's undead, so he doesn't need his heart, right?
Don't just. Sorry.
How deep is it? Like,
In his heart?
yeah.
You can see that his heart has been cut open, and now that you've got it a little bit closer, that you can see the top of the key, wrapped in leather, old musty leather that has been stuffed inside the gash in his heart. That looks like it's done himself, and it's been stuffed in there. Keep it hidden.
Okay, so theoretically, if I put a nail in there, would I be able to get it out?
Make a sleight of hand check with your whatever. I don't know if you used to eagle.
Is she still on the deck?
Yes.
And the drowners have gone for now?
There is no human for them to currently sense.
What is sleight of hand under? Like wisdom, dex, concentration?
Dex.
Okay. 14.
You do a pretty good job of you put the heart on the floor and you pinch it with one talon, and the other one you slowly bring in your other claw, wrapping it around the edge of it, and as you pull, it gets stuck a little bit at the end, and it just splits the heart in two. It's rotten, and all the fibrous materials are weak as it just pulls apart with a nasty squelchy sound as the key comes free and the leather slowly unwraps and falls off on the ground, revealing a large brass key. The key itself, there's a circular handle with an ornate cog in there, and then the key itself is multiple cogs tied into each other that actually looks like a mechanism, and inside of the cogs, there is a glass tube with glowing gold dust swirling inside of it.
That can't be it.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna put my claw up so Harakai can take it, because I don't want Bob citizens. Like, Harakai, take it up, kind of thing. But I can't speak, so she holds it out to him and like.
Harakai sees it. He reaches in his bag, pulls out a glove with 2 fingers, and then I don't know if he's got a cloth like in his Tinker's kit or something. He wants to wipe off all the blood, kind of like this.
You hear a... Oi! You just see Bjorn sticking his head out from the good dimension thing.
Yep. Yep.
Is that the key?
It's the key, right?
It is certainly the key.
It is certainly the key.
Hand it over then.
Okay.
Are you alright?
Yeah, that was pretty gross. Did you?
Quick. I don't want my whistle to sunset.
Well, the drowners sent you.
Drea is gonna also try and like put the heart back together and stuff it in his chest, and she's gonna try and rip the bonds with her claws and like move out of his way.
Sorry, what are you doing?
So she's gonna kind of like pick up the heart with one claw, stuff it back in his chest messily, and then try and slice the bonds and fly away.
You stuff it in his chest, hearing his rotten ribs break as you push it in.
I'm so sorry,
You
Squid.
put it in, and half his heart just hangs out limply as the fibers tear even more. As he's screaming up still at the 2 skeletons. You cut his bonds, and he immediately runs over and begins his work again. Not even acknowledging your presence there. Shut up! Shut up! The rain now is turned into a fairly hard downpour, and he seems to pay no mind to it as he works furiously at the ropes.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it caves?
Caves?
Caves.
Yes.
Okay. Is there one close by?
You look around, and you remember from when you guys were coming up, there's one probably 5 to 10 minutes away.
Okay, I want to fly there.
Okay.
Could I do investigate this key and how it works?
Make an investigation check. Or make an investigation check.
22.
22, alright. Daario, you're in there as well, right? Alright, so it's a large key. Probably, like, you could easily hold it in 2 hands. Almost bulky to hold in one hand with all the cogs and everything like that. And it's an ornate, detailed key. Like, it's amazing just to look at. You play with the cogs, and a few of them are stiff, but as you turn the right one, all of them turn in sync with each other, revealing at the end of it, as you turn the cogs, the front of the key opens up, revealing a traditional key bit that fits in a slot, and you can see that connects directly to the small golden glass tube. And it looks like that there's like some kind of pin that once it's pushed in there, it releases the ether gold gases.
Does it seem, I mean, obviously, this is overcomplicated for just a key, right? But is it complicated enough? Like, I figured out how to use it, but would anyone else struggle?
You figured out how it generally works, but to replicate the key would be super hard.
But I mean, if I was to set it back to how it was before,
Yeah.
so this is the activating position or whatever, if I was to set it back and somebody else was to look at it, would they be able to work it out as easily? Like, is it obvious?
With that check, you can guess that probably once it's slid into its slot, the gears would connect to something activating that lever anyway.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yep, I get you. Bloody dwarves and their complicated mechanics. I say too, Daario.
I think it's all they know at this point.
We're in a right mess.
Yeah, this is probably the worst we've been in a long time.
Worse than the contest. Contest of Champions.
We were all together at the contest. This feels different.
I don't know what to do.
That makes two of us.
We'll just keep talking as you're flying to the cave.
Alright. So, as you're making your way to the cave, you can see multiple drones with your eyesight scattered all over the island. None seem to be directly in the vicinity of the cave, but they definitely seem to be a lot more active at night as well. Kyla.
I'm just going to use this while we're flying.
Oh, yeah,
Just so you know.
me too.
No worries. You hear the creaking of wood somewhere in the room down to your right, or right at the end, and into the darkness you can't quite see, but it sounds like as if something is opening. As it opens up, you hear something hard hit the floor and roll towards you.
Gonna go check that out.
In the darkness, just out of your eyesight, you can see a bony face on the ground.
Jack.
But you were going to kill him, mate.
Yeah, well, that was the plan. But
It's not going well in here, is it?
no, it's not. It's really not. I'm actually really glad you're here.
I bet you are. Listen, I've been scouring the island, finding others like me who want to rest. We can't attack outright per se. There's not enough of us to mutiny, but we can help.
That would be awesome. How many?
60 so far.
And how many's against?
For the ones currently in the camp, I'd say 200.
Alright, well, that's really good. That's something.
Here's something else. Pick me up.
I can see it, right? It's not pitch black.
It's pretty pitch black, but you can just see the outline of his empty eye sockets in the darkness.
I guess would otherwise be freaky if it wasn't Jack.
Extremely freaky.
I've got to pick him up with two hands.
As you reach through the tight bars, you wrap your fingers around his head, and as you pick him up, you hear a a rattling in his head. No, you don't need to smash me, but just reach up under.
I gotta.
Stick your hand in. It's wet, not blood, just it seems like it's been rolling in the rain or something. And as you stick your fingers in, your fingers touch something cold and metallic. And as you feel around, there's a key shoved in his head.
Got that idea from us.
Yeah, I did. Jack, you're too generous.
I just want to die, mate. To be honest.
I'm gonna yank the key, or take the key out. Look, if I escape, I'm worried about Thalian. If they see me not here, I don't know if they're gonna do anything to him.
Alright, well, keep the key with you, and when you think the opportune moment is ripe, perhaps use it then.
How'd you get in here? What was it? Is there guards out there? Or?
There's a window that's been nailed shut. You're in the privy room that's been reorganized as a prison. You're small enough to fit through it.
How long have I been in this jail cell?
It's about 10 o'clock now, so it would have been a few hours.
Has
Probably
anyone,
about 2.5 hours.
Has any guards walked
No
in?
one's coming.
I'm gonna ask him if they if they've had prisoners before and if guards walk in or check up or.
No one's ever escaped before, so they rarely come check up on prisoners. They only really come down here to kill you or taunt you or touch your skin. That's a fetish most of us have.
Not doing any good here. Can't help anyone else.
No, but don't get yourself killed, mate.
The plan. Alright, Jack. Can you show me where the others are?
Wait, what others?
The mutiny? The other people?
Oh, the other guys? They camped outside of the camp, scattered all over the line.
Alright.
We haven't quite organized ourselves together yet, but in a few hours we should be gathered.
Right,
What's the plan, kid? You coming with me? You staying here?
Nah, I can't stay here. Let's go. You're gonna open up
The door, the prison door unlocks, and as you pull it slowly open, it creaks, but you manage to slowly just open it wide enough for your slim body to slip through before you close it again. Do you lock it behind you?
Yeah. Before I do, you said there's hay?
Yeah.
I'm going to, I don't know, the best as I can, because it's a pretty dark room, try to make is there a lot of hay? Maybe I can make I don't know.
There's enough to like make a fairly decent bunch, but once lit, that would burn fairly fast.
I'm just gonna put a decent bunch in the corner to make it look like I might be just sitting down in the corner or something.
Oh, definitely not enough to do that. It's it's barely enough to cover the floor of the.
Okay. Alright. I'm just gonna shut the door.
Alright, lock it?
Yeah.
Alright, as you lock it behind you, Jack gives you directions. You're not sure how he's seeing in darkness and without eyes, but he leads you to the back of this small chamber where there's a square hole with a flap that's been lifted out, and just outside of, or just barely in your vision, you see skeleton hands, arms out, reach to the hole with no head, where it looks like he's slotted his head through.
Alright, so I'm going to pass their head back to their hand.
It feels around as it grabs the head, puts it on backwards, and turns it. And Jack looks at you and he's like, low and steady. check. And you start squeezing your way through this tight hole. Drea.
With my evil
Yeah.
sense, can I do a perception check just to make sure the cave is empty? There's no drowners in there.
Okay. You land on the hard ground and look inside the cave. Go ahead and make a perception
okay.
check.
Wouldn't an hour have passed while we were flying to this cave?
No, it's only like about 10 minutes away. Unless you want to go further
How
on, there's
long does
plenty
your
around the island.
spell last for?
An
Is
hour,
there lots of
so
rocks
be running
around
out,
this
I
cave?
guess.
Yeah, the opening is quite it's quite obvious, but it is very rocky around it. Like once you're standing in front of it, it's an obvious opening. But coming up or down the path, or if you're above it, you wouldn't see it.
So, like, if we went in there, would I be able to use the rocks to create a sort of door or wall?
Yeah.
11.
11. You peer through into the darkness. Your eyes, your pupil sharpening as you look through. It doesn't look like there's anything in there, but there is a soft dripping of water echoing into the cave. It looks larger than first, than what you can immediately see.
Should I go in? Yeah, I'm just gonna collect some rocks.
It's not big enough for you to fit in there in your current form. So you would have to.
But can I collect some rocks and make like a sort of wall at the front,
Mhm.
and then I want to like turn my body so Harakai can drop the rope and they can all go in and then go in. I think does that make sense?
And transform and then go in? Yeah, you can. Alright, so as you get to work doing that, are you guys doing anything?
Can we do anything? Oh, we're in there? Well, I don't think we can.
No, do you discuss anything or no? Alright, so it doesn't take you long in your form to move the rocks. And you turn to your side to let them down. You guys jump out.
Yeah. Okay, we'll jump out with the rope.
Yeah, follow.
With the dimension,
Yeah, well, it only lasts for an hour, so would it be running out, or...?
it'd be very close, like probably 5 or so minutes before it expires.
Alright,
Oh, so would I only have been an eagle for an hour as well?
Yeah.
okay,
Then I'm gonna keep watch.
Okay.
Harakai's gonna do, magical tinkering and record a message. It's running out, you should probably get down here, and then he's going to toss it up into the pocket dimension.
Nice.
Does it speak by itself?
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we get that.
Awesome. Alright, so as soon as you guys step out of the dimension into the dark cave, 15 seconds go by before there's a distant shriek. And then picked up again.
From within the cave?
No, from around the island. Nothing in the immediate vicinity, but the drowners have again picked up your scent.
As soon as they get out and I see Drea's trying to build that wall, can Harakai just get to work and try and assemble it as well?
Yeah. Oh, she's finished it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna perch on top of the wall as well. So like
spare sword.
the way I imagine it is the cave opening the wall and then Drea on top of the wall
My
covering
sword?
the rest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah, the one I put off the Dark Elf. Yeah. Like, how big is this wall? Is it gonna stop drowners? or like,
With her body in it, it would stop drowners coming in.
like that would attack her?
That would attack her if she was stopping them getting to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what's happening, right? Am I
But they
understanding
don't
this
know
correctly?
that they're in there, so right?
They
But they can
can
sense
sense them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they'll be trying to get into the cave.
Right.
And the wall that we built isn't strong enough to hold them out.
No, because it's kind of like half built, and then the rest of it is Dre's body.
Yeah, so
She can't
I
build.
thought that would work.
You can build the full thing if you want, but then you're going to be outside the wall. Obviously.
do you have like a spell where you could like raise the earth or something?
Not when I'm an eagle. I can't use it. Would the full wall hold them off?
For a little while, but there's no mortar or anything to the wall. Like the way you're placing it, you're just placing rocks. They can be
Right.
taken
Yeah.
down.
This is not going to hold them. What's the plan? We've got the key. Do we take it to the captain?
If we have time, can you guys get some rest? Fix your wounds?
I don't think that's an option.
Can't you make your tent dome thing where people can't get in or out?
Oh shit! Wait. Come on.
Awkward.
And they might not be able to sense us with it.
Yep. That's probably
This entire time.
I mean, there was no other time we could have used it, really.
Yeah.
Alright, I do that. In the cave. So I spent 10 minutes, so yeah, I spent 10 minutes sort of wrapping or tracing runes around my arm, and as I do, they sort of peel out, and I start placing them around in a 10-foot radius.
Yeah.
And then when it's complete, like a lightish blue dome envelops the area. Everyone's gonna be in it when I finish it though.
I signal to Drea that she should probably get inside the cave.
Drea swoops up and comes down, and just before the eagle goes into the opening,
There's,
Nice.
there's a swooshing of magic as she transforms back into herself.
Awesome.
right?
So
Yeah,
so that doesn't allow you to be sensed. Is that?
I think we still will be sensed, but I can't get in. So get ready for. Yeah.
Oh, this could be bad.
It could be bad. We're gonna be stuck in here for 8 hours, and when it goes out, we're fucked.
Well, if it goes to 8 hours,
What the heck?
I'd recharge
Remember
it
as well,
Yeah.
you said that you want he wants to
I mean,
keep
I don't know
that
about the
light on.
sensing, honestly. Like, it is completely enclosed.
Wait, are the
Read
dragons
it out to
forming?
A 10-foot radius immobile dome of force springs into existence around and above you and remains stationary for the duration. Spell ends if you leave the area. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you. The spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures. Creatures and objects within the dome when you cast this spell can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry, and regardless of the weather outside. Until the spell ends, you command the interior to become dimly lit or dark. It's opaque from the outside of any color I choose, but it is transparent from the inside.
Okay.
Look, it does say spells and other
Yeah.
magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. So if this is like they're sensing it through some sort of magical
like through the
curse
curse
or something,
Yeah.
then perhaps that's the loophole.
You spend your 10 minutes casting your dome, and you guys can hear the screeches getting picked up, almost like wild chimpanzees as they get closer and closer. And you can hear the excitement in the hunt as they screech out in fury. As soon as the dome is cast, and you guys are in it, the screeches abruptly die off, followed by howling of frustration and confusion all around the island. And as the howls are picked up, you hear one directly overhead.
Overhead, like
In the cave.
in the cave.
Overhead, like you guys are in the cave, overhead.
like above us.
Did it work?
I guess so.
I just like breathe a lot of air just to see what happens. So,
The howls are the same pitch of frustration before you hear, you can barely hear the thumping of hands and feet as this thing runs on all four. Sounds like it's going back and forth, howling in frustration, before you hear a grunt and it moves off. As it moves off into the distance.
I think it worked.
right.
Harakai's just gonna fall on his back and just lay down looking up at the roof.
What now?
Now I guess we're playing. Rest.
How much time do we have before we have to meet Barbosa again?
Yeah, how much time to do?
Does anyone know you guys are underground? Well, while you were outground, you would say it would be about 10 o'clock.
And dawn's like 5.
Yeah.
So 7 hours. So we might be able to get a long rest.
And you're about an hour out, don't forget yourself.
So we catch our breath for an hour.
Should we find out where this cave leads to?
We leave the dome, and the drowners are upon you.
After we rest up.
I can rest for an hour and then scout it, because I just need a short rest to regain a loud check.
Oh, that's cool. That's so cool.
Here's an idea.
Particularly as I
That's really cool.
I joined the pictures.
Oh yes.
What if I was somehow able to create a replica of the key? I'm not sure if this is a good or bad idea, but I mean, I've got 7 hours, I should be able to do it.
To what end?
I mean, obviously I won't be able to recreate the Aether Gold inside, but I'm sure I could recreate general form, just enough to fold him.
We've tried to fall in before it. Thalian almost gained a hole in his skull.
Yeah, but
Does he
that's...
know what the key looks like?
I don't think he would. And also, that was magic. This is real.
But what about when he tests it upon the airship? You'd imagine that would be his immediate action.
Maybe only a dwarf could use the key.
Maybe.
don't know.
I also think that could be when it's most vulnerable, though.
Is there really pieces of it?
Don't you think?
To do what though?
I don't know.
Bodies disbanded. One of us has already died. Guess I know it was a dark elf, but we still brought it to this island. Feel the only way to defeat him is to find his source of power.
Like a monkey with a wolf stone.
So do we all know that information? I can't remember.
We all
I
saw it.
don't think anyone knows for sure. It's just
No, someone asked the skeleton. The
Yeah, he-
skeleton was saying that.
That his
the
eyes
monkey
cackled.
powers and cackled, yeah.
Oh yeah, I did, yeah.
Were we all there for that?
It was one of the cells, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
the
cell.
one you guys. Yeah,
I mean, Drea weren't there.
but we saw them.
Yeah.
So we take his power. Take his sword away from a warrior and he just becomes a man.
Or a skeleton. In this case.
So what's his source of power? Do you think it is the monkey? I mean, from that description the skeleton gave, it sounds like it is some sort of warp stone, but it just sounds odd coming from a monkey.
I don't know much about this material, right?
Yeah.
Would I?
But
Because
I would know that that was the rediscovered ingredient in the chemicals made to make blood.
Yeah.
would I know it? Because of what I went through.
Yes.
Okay, can I do it? What check would it be to figure out like how that would affect the monkey, and if so, how would it be?
Make an insight check. With advantage.
Thank you.
So it is arcane.
I'm gonna use guidance, and I'm gonna start explaining everything Harakai knows about Wolfstone, from his past experience in the mine and from what he's learned.
Maybe
at
someone
Redrum.
play a little song along the way.
Daario.
Plus 40 roll.
Plus 4.
15. I got.
Alright, and what were you trying to understand?
Yeah, so like, what? Like, would the warp stone be the source of power, and if so, how is it affecting the monkey? And
Okay, so
You're a monkey.
you
how are
know
they tied?
you know from your past that warpstone is chaos in raw, pure form. It is the winds of magic solidified from gas to solid, and it has a wide range of uses. Anything from magic to weapons to necromancy. And you know, So definitely the warpstone is providing some kind of power, and you have heard through your practice of being a druid, people using animals as a focus. And what better way to, a monkey with raw chaos in him still living, to be able to draw that power without having the warpstone in yourself or physically touching the warpstone. Draw that from that creature and use it. Yeah. It's legitimate in your head. Like, it could be done.
Do you explain it to everyone?
I do explain it to everyone, yes. But like very theatrically.
So
Go on, I want to see this.
So guys, this is it, right? There's a monkey. We all saw the monkey, right?
As is playing the
Brown.
monkey.
Yeah. Monkey stand there. I stand 5 feet back. I am Barbosa. Yes. I don't have a scar at the moment, but this will do. Barbosa, hi. I am Barbosa Skeleton. This is my monkey Az.
Hi, Barbosa.
Thank you. The warpstone in him is raw chaos and it has his power, right? I don't need to touch it. No, because I'll die and I'm already a skeleton, so probably diminish me. Anyways, I use the power. The power flows through me and the monkey alive to create chaos. And I use it, but that's my source of power. So if I don't have it, I will probably die.
Alright, say that's the case, but how does Barbosa draw for the monkey? How's the monkey alive with the warpstone embedded?
Magic is limitless.
Magic
there
is
would
limitless.
there would be a way magically or somehow for him to use
There's some sort of linking.
to draw. Yeah,
His soul is linked to it. I figured it out. It legit.
It legit.
Are you talking to us?
I am talking to us.
His
We
soul
have
is linked to the monkey.
Sorry?
His soul is linked to the monkey.
How else is he linked to it? He has no body. Or, I mean, a bone structure, but it has to be connected to him somehow.
Alright. Well, again, let's say that's true.
It is.
I'm gonna pull my sword off my back. I'm gonna walk to one edge of the dome, place it, and I'm gonna walk to the other end of the dome.
Mhm.
And by the time I get to the other edge, I am like puffing. I look a little bit paler. I'm sweating a little bit.
You're right, bro. Bjorn.
I'm like, so part of my soul is linked within these swords, and if there are, the further they are from me, the weaker I feel. I discovered this recently when they took our weapons away from us. If it's as you say, we move the monkey away, he gets weaker.
But even if we get rid of the monkey, what's gonna happen to the rest of the skeletons? Will they collapse with the monkey? Or will they remain but Barbosa will collapse?
Well, if they're scattered around the island and the monkey's still there, then
Any spell needs a direction. It needs to be channeled. Raw power is chaos. If it's not focused into a direction, then it implodes. I'm just making shit up, but hopefully it's right.
sounds legit.
So unless the monkey controls his power, which I doubt, then we remove him from Barbosa and the necromancer should die.
But I'm just thinking, like, the curse has already been done. Like, even if we get rid of the monkey and Barbosa, like, we're not even guaranteed that the rest will collapse as well.
Okay, I've got a question now. In my history of monster hunting and my family's history of monster hunting, obviously we've one of the things we would have been hired for is to remove curses, right? Is that how it would work? Do I know, or do you want me to roll for it? Like, would this seem...
Your understanding,
sense to
and
me?
from what the conversations you've had from Jack and Jack, is they're not cursed. Well, some of them have been cursed, but most of them have just washed up dead on the island.
So they've just been reanimated, right?
Barbosa has made a deal with a true pirate king, but the rest are reanimated through a necromancer.
I have a question.
Yeah, so it's a spell. Someone's. Yeah, so.
But I think you're right about them like distancing the monkey, because why has Barbosa never looked for the key himself? He stays on his ship, and all the other skeletons look for it. He wouldn't have brought them alive if he had no reason to look for it himself. Does that make sense?
As not that he's like.
Exactly. He needs people to look for it for him because he can't himself.
Alright then, how do we separate the monkey from Barbosa?
You see Daario looking at his arrow, and he's like, "Why do we have to separate? Why can't we just destroy the warpstone?"
True.
That could be a bit dangerous though, unleashing the chaos. Right?
He's not actually in the game.
Right, as?
As no
It's you know, from your, like, even the party's experience through the mines, and how the Skaven were using it, it's like it's wild energy. So if it was destroyed, it could just fizzle out, or it could be a catastrophic explosion. It's so wild and random, but you know that's why you would have seen through the Skaven mines a lot of them missing hands and missing limbs and things like that.
So perhaps that's the last resort then.
Perhaps we should capture the monkey, and we should hold him hostage to blackmail Barbosa to let us onto the ship to keep his island.
I don't think there's any negotiating with that.
I don't think so either.
How are we gonna get through the army though?
To get specifically to this monkey. I mean, if it's the source of his power, I'm assume it's
Well,
not just going to be out willy-nilly.
But it was.
It was still surrounded by an army of skeletons.
That are easily fooled.
I could turn into a monkey. I'm sure a monkey would love to have a friend back, surrounded by skeletons.
So you would turn into a monkey and seduce.
Why not? It's not something I haven't done before. Except it was a skunk last
I
time.
haven't seen
so-
any other animals on this island.
Me either. But if
Does
Barbosa
like the
monkey-
female skeletons dancing for you.
Exactly. A female monkey who wants some privacy,
But
and
the
then we
other,
snatch him.
the other skeletons didn't seem too fond of anything living.
But if Barbosa is fond of the monkey and he seems to be in charge,
What if we find Jack?
oh, that's a good idea too.
Send him in. Grab the monkey. Whatever it is we do, we only have one shot, because if Barbosa knows we've worked out where his power lies, then he won't be so careless.
I've got a question. With Harakai's understanding of Galmaraz, would he be able to... Does he think he'd be able to sap the power from the warpstone?
No, because it doesn't quite work like that.
Yeah, okay.
On that note, the warpstone will be dangerous for any of us to touch, but I think we all know from my father that the arcane magic that runs within my blood has some sort of affinity with it. Perhaps I could do something like that.
I mean... It's pure chaos, are you sure you want to do that?
As a last resort.
Okay.
Careful, mate, says Jack to you, Kyla, as you finally wiggle your way through the square. Ships
trip.
What's the plan?
Before the others left, they were talking about a source of... Regardless of that, I think I need to actually go. I can't leave.
It's dangerous. I'm not gonna go with you. In chance of being caught. Good luck to you.
Is so Thalian's on the ship. Is that
He's on top deck, suspended from the main mast of the ship in a stockade.
and all those skeletons? They're on the top deck as well, or
You don't know, you can't be way down below.
was he suspended by what type of material was it? Was it?
He was a rope, and then he's in a stockade, like a metal cage.
Yeah, I can't leave.
Alright, well, I'll go gather the others, see if I can convince anyone else. Try not to die, as I myself truly love for my own.
Yeah, do what I can, Jack.
One's far.
Very well.
And he disappears down the tight, narrow corridor. You can see multiple doors, but he goes to the end, slowly opens the door, looks both ways, and heads left, leaving you in the darkness of the creaking ship.
Oh shit. Alright. Okay, I'm going to... Oh, what am I going to do? Right, so how far am I from... Or what level am I? I am on
You're,
the ship,
you
right?
know, you're on the lowest
Lowest level.
level of the ship.
Okay. I'm going to...
With how tight and how the wall's concave inwards, you know, you're right at the bottom.
Can I make my way out of the ship and maybe try to climb the side?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I'm going to try to...
Alright, make a stealth check.
Should I use invisibility, or is it going to blow up in my face? Okay, I'll do this up. Natural 20. Plus,
Dang!
like, I think I've got like 6+6 on stealth.
Damn.
Cool,
God.
good roll.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Alright, so what exactly do you want to do? You just want to find the closest exit, get outside of the ship, and then scale the side?
Yeah, and I kind of want to, before I do anything, like I kind of want to just scale the side and just scope out what's going on in front of me.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Slowly you make your way through the darkness, more feeling your way through the ship than actually seeing. And eventually you find yourself on the level up from where you are. On this level you can see cannons lining either side of the ship, pulled back and secured, and the hatches closed. However, they do open from the inside and would lead directly outside the ship. You slowly get to the furthest one, not going from the middle or anything, to make sure you're as stealthy as possible. Slowly opening it up before slipping outside. Do you want to go down or do you want to go straight up from here? You realize you're closer to the rear of the ship, where there is large beam-like structures almost attached to the side of the ship, not supporting the ship, but you can see they're strapped with driftwood barrels all lashed together with rope, and they're thick beams. It almost looks like an arm to you on either side of the body of the ship.
Okay. So if I take out those beams, would the ship go?
No, the ship is secured on the ground,
Okay.
but for whatever reason, this addition has been put on.
Gotcha. I think I'm gonna make way up those ones. Thalian, so whereabouts on the ship?
So you're on the rear of the ship. He is on the main mast, which is directly in the middle.
In the middle. Okay.
Are you climbing? Is that what's happening?
He's on
Is
the
it-
side of the ship.
I'm on the side.
Yeah, he's currently just outside of one of the gun ports. And then, yeah, so you want to go up,
Yeah.
climb up there?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's a pretty easy jump from the gun port onto this beam. And as I said, it's driftwood, barrels, and everything like that strapped together, which provides plenty of footholds for you to fairly easily climb up. It's almost like a ladder, the way it's been constructed. You make your way up stealthily, keeping to the side where the ship itself is between two large rocky formations. So you keep your back to the side of the mountain, and you can hear to your right the party and the shooting and the whatever is going on with the skeletons. To your left, you can hear the waves in the distance and darkness down that way. You climb up, and just before you reach the top, you slow down, and you can see from where you currently are, you can see the main mast, and you can see the gibbet swaying in the rough wind, being pelted by heavy rain. As your cloak flaps around you, and within a minute you're soaked to the bone as well.
What's the distance between me and the cage?
Directly to the top, it would be probably about 30 meters from where you currently are.
Can I, 30 meters, can I message Thalian?
What's your...
120 feet.
I think that is, because I think we worked it out last time, it was 45 meters or something.
30 meters is 10 feet, so 30 meters is 100 feet.
30 meters is 100 feet, yep.
Alright.
Thalian, you're being hammered by rain and wind as the gibbet swings violently, jerking as it's picked up in the wind and then dropped back down as the rope goes taut. Your head, your whole body aches as it's slamming against the sides wherever there is a small gap, and you're just soaked to the bone. The cold wind cuts through you like ice, and you're beginning to get dizzy as the gibbet spins around in a destructive wind. Down below you, a few skeletons roam the empty deck, but most are out partying or out on the island somewhere, and there's no sign of Barbarossa.
Can I do 3 perception checks in this time? I want to see where the monkey is.
Yeah.
I want to check the actual cage to see what sort of condition the cage is in.
Mhm.
And something else I want to do. No, I'll just do those 2.
Go ahead.
Is that right?
Do one perception check and one investigation check for the cage.
So I'll do the cage first. 5.
It's pretty easy from you're right in the cage.
Oh, sorry. 3.
It's a rusted, probably half an inch thick steel.
Yeah.
That is well constructed, but it's old. However, how you're currently cramped in there, your hands and arms and limbs in awkward positions, no way you would be able to get enough leverage to break it open.
Yeah.
The rivets in there, some of them look rusty and loose, but no way you'd be able to do it.
Yeah. Alright, and then the monkey. So perception. Natural 20.
Oh,
So
nice.
23.
The monkey is the centerpiece of the party. And whenever, any chance the gibbet swings open and you get the view of there, it almost looks like they're worshipping the monkey, even though, you know, you get the perception that it's clearly Barbosa who's in charge here. The skeletons have an infatuation with this monkey. As they dance around it, you can see them feeding it platters of fruit that have been either washed up or somehow sourced from the island are presented to this monkey, who's now sitting in a newly constructed, almost high throne with a blazing fire in front of him, as the skeletons climb on each other's shoulders to present him fruit. And you can see either side of him there's 2 towers of skeletons holding makeshift umbrellas above him, while another one picks from the platter and feeds it to him. Every now and then the monkey pulls out a pistol and shoots randomly into the crowd, cackling wildly as he does.
Yep.
Carla, what are you doing?
He's living the life.
Yeah.
Wanna be him.
This is the quietest I've seen you, Thalian. How you doing?
Never felt better, boy.
Can you see over there on your left?
I'm spinning all over the place, so
Oh,
which
shit.
left?
Yes, I'm gonna break you out, but I'm gonna need you to be my eyes.
Break me out. What do you mean?
I'm not breaking you yet. But Jack visited me in the cell and they gave me a kick. And now it's time to...
Save yourself. It's probably the safest spot for me. What are we gonna do down there? You're just gonna drop me in the middle of all the skeletons.
How many skeletons is a...
Hundreds, isn't it?
Jack told you about 200 in the camp currently.
How many skeletons on the top?
Oh, on top deck. From where you can barely see their heads or their feathered hats. Less than 10 currently on top deck.
And how far away is the party? Like, by...
The party is probably 200 meters from the front of the ship in the middle of the camp.
Okay.
So they're not on the ship, they're on the ground in front of the ship.
Where the monkey is, yeah, they're in the middle of the camp. The ship is at the rear of the camp.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was on the the ship. Yeah.
So if I thank you. So let's say this is where you guys entered from. This would be mountainous, rocky terrain either side, and you guys entered through this tunnel. The camp is a circular camp. Jack currently sits with his back to the entrance. A raging fire here to withstand the heavy rain, and a circle of skeletons around that. Over here, makeshift towers have been built from ships that have been dragged, or pieces of wood or pieces of ships line this side of the rocky terrain. And at the rear, the gigantic ship of Barbosa sits between the rocky terrain. The mountains continue here, and about just over a kilometre, the edge of the island. Thalian is in the middle.
You must be spinning for a while, Thalian, because there's only 10 here that I see.
The ship.
And the ship.
Last I checked, it seemed to have a life of its own.
I don't know if I can do a check like this, but feeling, the flows of magic, can I tell if the ship was alive or if Barbosa was had a little magic presence to make the ship alive?
Make an arcane check.
Oh, that's really bad.
Jack did say the ship is.
7.
You send out your sensors, and you're immediately bombarded by necromancy energy from all around the camp. There is some kind of feeling on the ship, but it feels dormant at the moment. However, as you kind of, as you return to your natural senses, it's almost as if the creaking of the ship, as if it's like breathing slowly in and out. As it creaks, as you notice, it creaks in a rhythm. It's not random. It is a slow.
Look, I'm glad you're out. Get yourself to safety. Don't do anything stupid. Besides, made a promise to a dwarf friend of ours. Think I have to stay put for this one.
I didn't make any promises. What was your promise? What was
I'll shut up and stay here. I know you didn't. Go. Find safety. Find the others. Besides, I've got the best view from here.
Alright, I'm going to Carla hesitates for a moment to compliment I can't even say that word.
Compliment.
To actually leaving Thalian here by himself. It pains him, but
You hear in your head a melodic tune as Thalian hums in his head.
Carla's going to wait for an opportunity to summon his mage hand.
Yeah.
Give the mage hand the uncommon potion.
Yep.
And I don't know if there's an opportunity or something, he's going to send it to Thalian.
Alright, so you pull it out of your pocket as you're casting Mage Hand and hand it over, and the guards that you can see on the ship, once they kind of go closer to the front, you use the opportunity to send it up in the darkest part of the ship before it comes around the mast where there's no guards and floats up before it comes up to the gibbet. And all of a sudden, as you're spinning around, you just see Kyla's mage hand with a dark glowing potion in its hand.
Wait, sorry.
Can you fit into the cage?
Barely. You'd have to, like fit it in and kind of twist it before you fit it in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered that you said my possessions weren't on me. Do I probably don't have this.
Oh, correct. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you don't.
Okay. Okay.
It's a good idea.
Where is the possessions?
I'm not sure.
Gonna ask Thalian if you can see our stuff from up there.
Oh yeah, that was the third thing I wanted to do.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's all good.
15.
Your stuff's been roughly thrown, not far from straight underneath you, from where the main mast is.
Oh, underneath me.
Yeah.
Hey, Isla. Can you do something for me before you go?
Sure.
My necklace. It's just under me.
The crab?
The crab. Can you get it to me?
Out of all the piles, you know what? That's what you want. I can do that. And I'm just going to wait for a moment to do that. And maybe grab the potion with the necklace with one hand, if that's
Alright.
possible.
Yeah, so you send your hand over empty first to rummage through the gear. And from where you can see, you can't see the necklace, like you're too far to see the necklace. So as you kind of pat around blindly in the piles of the larger things, you see a crab crawl up onto your hand, onto the back of the hand, with a leather necklace, attached to it. It is this necklace. And it seems like in your rummaging, it was stuck underneath something, and you've freed it as you've touched it around and pulled stuff.
Alright, I think I got it. We're gonna send it up.
With the potion, so come back and grab the potion. Oh no, you don't have the potion. Yeah, sorry, you're just gonna stand it up. Yeah, awesome. As you're wildly thrown around, you see the hand, and it's quite hard, like to reach out your hand and kind of time it. But as the cage gets closer to the hand, you see the necklace, the crab, and just as it swings past, it hooks one of its claws onto the cage as it swings off the hand, and it's just latched on the side in front of your face, just a claw, as it swings wildly in the wind, and with its other claw, it grabs underneath it and slowly shimmers down to where your hand is at the bottom of the cage before it climbs through the cracks onto your hand.
That's cool.
And you see the claws retract again.
Thalian's just gonna grin to himself. Oh my master. And he's gonna try his best to sort of get his ear to his hand.
Yeah. What are you doing, Carla?
I really don't want to leave you here.
What do you think about it? What are you guys
What are we
doing?
gonna do? We are screwed. I'm spent
Do we do a
over
short
10
rest?
HP.
What you guys like? Would you like
Has
to
it
do
been
a short?
now?
Yes.
I mean,
You can spend an hour here.
You're pretty spent.
I'm spent. I'm not like okay.
You got 2 level 1s, 1 level 2, 1 level 3.
I can make us both invisible, and maybe we can hijack out of here. Maybe I can cause a distraction for these 10 skeletons.
Don't forget there's the
Shit.
and the drowners. They'll still sense us.
They're gonna sense me if I go out by myself. Oh,
You guys can see and hear the skeletons shooting the drowners from the towers that are trying to get in that have already sensed you guys.
Oh, okay.
well, I'm
But
having
just in the camp, right?
Yeah, which Barbosa ordered them in to make sure they don't go.
I'll just have my health thing on.
Dear friend.
So you guys doing a short rest?
Yeah.
Alright. This is where we'll take a break then. So you guys can discuss it and we'll come back shortly and see what the group decides.
Oh,
Oh
damn.
damn!
Yeah?
Okay.
Ciao.
See, Kyla wouldn't leave you there.
Hey guys, this is Nords, also known as Thalian. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and leave a comment down below. And remember, keep spreading the mythic word.